Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another tip video. This time we'll be talking about Rainbow Six Siege terminology. So when you're playing with someone like maybe is a higher skill than you and they say something you have no idea what's going on, I'm basically going to be explaining what they're on about. So yeah, most of them are quite straightforward. They're like literally the actual term itself is quite self-explanatory, but you know, sometimes it can be a little bit confusing for a low level player especially. So I'm jumping straight in with bait and switch. This one I can only describe by saying the two words bait and switch. It's when you bait an enemy in the switch positions. So for an example, you could use a mirror window by shooting at the canister, which triggers the mirror to fall, and your opponent will be like, oh look, the mirror's falling, let me look at that, and then you could like peek out a doorway or something that's near it and pick up an easy kill just by simply distracting them like that. Next one is peek. People don't really understand the actual method of peeking, but it's when you like quickly lean around a corner or cover, using delay to your advantage in most cases, depending on your ping, your enemy's ping, all that fun jazz. But it's a movement technique, not a stationary technique. So people think if you're just staring out of a window, you're peeking out the window. You're not. Peeking's an active, movement of a technique. Next is pre-firing, which works well with peeking, and it's firing at an enemy where they could potentially be, which is it can be used, like I said, with a peek, or you can just use it just to be safe, just in case you're a bit spooked. Next are the two words breach and destroy. People might get these ones mixed up. Breaching is actually entering, and destroying is basically getting rid of. So if you destroy a wall, you'll place a breach charge on it, you'll blow it up, that wall's been destroyed. But breaching is actually going in there afterwards. So yeah, if I say breach the site, I mean get on the site, all that fun jazz. Pretty simple. Next is hot breach, which is another thing. I mean, most of these words you won't hear all too often, but sometimes you might, and you'll be like, oh my days, what's going on? So a hot breach is if you breach a surface and then you immediately... Oh, I've just got mixed up with my own thing that I said earlier now. Basically, when you destroy something and you breach it instantly afterwards, so you might place a breaching charge on a window and rappel in as you blow it up, or destroy a wall and then bolt right in afterwards. It's usually used on windows and or rushing an objective, basically. So I'm going to be talking about a few roles now. So objective defense is to hold down the site, pretty simple. A floater is someone who stays near the site but not on it necessarily, and they can make easy access to the objective. So smoke is quite a good floater, for example, because he can stay near the objective, but he works really well on the objective as well, and can have like impacts and stuff to get back onto the objective, all that fun jazz. Roamer, another role, is someone who kind of maneuvers their way around the map despite being a defender, usually to get flanks or distract the attack. So in Pro League, you'll see a lot of roamers distracting the attacking team and delaying them time and stuff like that. Fragger, another playstyle. That's an aggressive role, good at roaming or rushing and peeking. Usually a fast operator with, high firepower weapons. So Jaeger's a good example of a fragger / roamer, I suppose. Fragger and roamer kind of go together. Hibana's a good fragger. Who else? Ash, that's the one. Ash and Capital. So yeah, they're usually like the aggressive characters. I mean, characters like Buck are also really good at it, despite being slightly heavier than being a 2-2 in terms of armor and speed. But yeah, rotation is moving from one area to another to hold down that area. For example, a roamer will rotate back onto the objective if they need to. Let's say two people have died on site, for example, you maybe only have one on there. The roamer might have to move back on site and they'll be rotating back on site. And last but not least, I don't know why it would be least, but basically last is anchoring. And anchoring is to hold down a certain position. For example, defenders anchor the objective. Objective defense defenders anchor the objective. So like, yeah, basically, yeah, just hold down an angle. Not much more I can say about that. This Blackbeard's a good example of an anchor. So yeah, I mean, obviously, like I said, you might get a bit mixed up if a high level player says something, but for the most part, these are quite self-explanatory and really simple. So thanks a lot for watching anyway, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.